When you're scrolling through Facebook or checking the news on your favorite site, you're really only seeing the tiniest fraction of the internet. It's like the tip of a giant iceberg. Most of it is actually hidden from view, operating in layers that we almost never see. So today, we're going to take a guided tour of those hidden depths.
So that's the big question, right? What exactly is down there? If the internet we know and use every single day is just the surface of the ocean, what's lurking in those deep, dark waters below? Well, the answer is, it's probably not what you think, and it is absolutely fascinating.
Okay, first things first, let's get the two main layers straight. On one side, you've got the surface web. That's all your everyday stuff, anything a search engine like Google can find. Think CNN.com, your social media feeds, all that. But on the other side, you have the deep web. And no, it's not some scary mythical place. It's just the parts of the web that you need a login to get into, like your private online banking portal or secure government database. It's designed to be private.
Now that term deep web, I know, it gets a really bad rap. It sounds ominous. But the truth is, most of it is completely normal, even kind of boring. And it's absolutely essential for our digital lives.
All the deep web really is any part of the internet that search engines can't just stumble upon and index. Simple as that. If you need a password or you have to type in a specific address to get there, guess what? You're on the deep web. It's all about privacy and security, not necessarily about sinister secrecy.
So who's using it? Well, basically, we all are. Every single time you log into your bank account online, you're using the deep web. Governments and intelligence agencies from all over the world, Pakistan, India, the USA, they all use it for secure communications. Heck, even that little S in HTTPS you see in your browser's address bar, that means you have a secure connection, which is, you guessed it, a little dip into the deep web.
But what if you need more than just a secure login? What if you need to communicate without anyone, and I mean anyone, knowing who you are or where you're coming from? This incredibly high-stakes problem led to the creation of something else entirely.
And this really gets to the heart of it. Just think about it for a second. For an intelligence operative, or maybe a journalist or activist living under a repressive regime, a secure connection isn't nearly enough if an adversary can just trace where that connection is coming from. No, they needed a way to become digital ghosts.
And believe it or not, the solution came directly from the US military. Building on the foundations of the early internet, which they also helped create, they developed this new technology back in the 90s for truly untraceable communication. Today, we know it as the Onion Router, or Tor for short. And this technology is what created a brand new hidden layer inside the deep web, the layer we now call the dark web.
So, how does this Onion Router actually make you anonymous? Well, the name itself is the perfect metaphor. It really is all about layers. So, let's peel this thing back and see exactly how it works.
Okay, imagine you're sending a secret message. First, the Tor network wraps your data in several layers of encryption, just like the layers of an onion. Then it sends that little data packet on a completely random journey through this huge network of volunteer computers all over the world. At each computer it stops at, one layer of encryption gets peeled off, revealing only the very next stop on the trip. By the time your message gets to its final destination, the path it took is so jumbled and scrambled that your original location is completely untraceable.
But what makes this network of volunteer computers so strong, so impossible to just shut down? Well, it all comes down to one really powerful core principle: decentralization.
Put simply, a decentralized network means there's no one in charge. There's no main server you can unplug, no CEO you can arrest, no single government that has control. All the power is distributed across every single person participating in the network.
Now, this idea of decentralization might be ringing a bell because it's the exact same concept behind cryptocurrency, right? Just like there's no central bank controlling Bitcoin, there's no single company controlling the Tor network. It's run by its users, for its users, and that's exactly what makes it so powerful.
So let's just tie this all together. The technology that makes the dark web possible wasn't cooked up in some shadowy hacker's basement. It was a US military project designed for national security. It's an incredibly powerful privacy tool that's built on this revolutionary idea of a decentralized, user-run network where control is shared by everyone. And that leaves us with a really big, really profound question. This technology, built for freedom and privacy by one part of the government, is now used by journalists and activists, but also, yes, by criminals. Is it an essential tool for privacy in our modern digital age, or is it an unavoidable shield for the worst parts of our society? This debate is far from over, and it really forces us all to ask, what price are we willing to pay for true anonymity? What do you think?